Suddenly, Ruby's eyes widened in alarm. "Why is he here?" Andy stood before her, smiling. "Why is Andy here?" Camus also panicked. "Why are you here?" Behind him was Isaac, radiating fury. Bam! A powerful blow rang out, and Camus sprawled on the ground. Ruby gasped in shock. Isaac was in a fit of rage. "You bastard!" Isaac shouted. Camus got up, wincing in pain, only to be grabbed by Isaac. Seeing the fist coming toward him, Camus panicked. "Hey, wait, listen to what I have to say." Isaac, however, was beyond reason. Ruby stepped forward and shouted, "Stop!" Isaac paused, his gaze still terrifying as he turned to face her. Ruby's heart raced. So scary, she thought, but she said, "I'll explain, so please calm down." Isaac finally regained his composure, though his eyes were still filled with fury. He threw Camus aside and took a few steps toward Ruby. 1 step, 2 steps, then 3. As he stood tall before her, Ruby became anxious. She blinked at him, her body trembling slightly as she fiddled with the hem of her skirt. Isaac gently wiped away the dirt from her cheek. "You're quite something, aren't you?" he said, his mood softening as he observed her. "Your body is already weak. Why are you running around with these guys?" Ruby tried to find an excuse. "I only came here because I wanted to see the frost wolves." Isaac sighed and held his head. "That makes perfect sense, doesn't it?" He turned and saw that she was still bareheaded in the rain. He pulled her hood up. What if you get caught in the rain and faint again? He cared for her like a child, attentive to every detail. Ruby felt the tenderness in his words, though she still resisted. "I won't let you go inside until you're better," Isaac said. "Let's talk inside." Inside a building, Isaac glared at the tied-up men. "So you took matters into your own hands because of superstition?" His eyes narrowed. "You even lured my innocent wife with those cheap chocolates." Andy and Ruby, who happened to be enjoying the treats, felt guilty. Ivan retorted loudly, "Hey, are you planning to arrest them and kill them all?" Isaac replied calmly, "Yes." Ivan didn't back down. "You're the Emperor's nephew, so you're saying we can be punished for superstition? Your wife even said she would come with us to find those wolves. Why are you ignoring her opinion?" Ruby jumped up guiltily, causing Andy next to her to flinch. "Wait, everyone, calm down." Ruby tried to de-escalate the situation. "Isaac, please, don't get angry." Isaac immediately raised his voice. "Ruby, you stop it too." She fell silent, her heart pounding. "I clearly told you not to do anything reckless." Isaac's voice was filled with worry. "What if those wolves attacked? What if you got hurt? Do you think these brats have any real combat experience with frost wolves?" Camus immediately retorted indignantly, "You bastard! How dare you underestimate us?" Isaac frowned at him. "Shut up." Ruby tightened her grip on her skirt. "I'm sorry for causing you trouble until now," she said. Isaac was taken aback. "What?" Isaac was about to get angry again, but Ruby quickly spoke. "Who told you to say such nonsense?" In a low voice, Ruby apologized. "This time, I really caused trouble. First, everyone worked so hard to find me, and you almost got into danger because I awakened the frost wolves. More than anything, I don't want to be a burden to you anymore." Isaac stopped, stunned by her words. "I'm like the Holy Knights with special abilities, but I don't have excellent swordsmanship skills." Camus and Ivan, standing nearby, were wide-eyed. "So, even if it's just a little, I want to help everyone." Then there was an unusual silence. Ruby began to panic. "What's wrong with everyone?" "All right." Isaac smiled and patted her head. "You don't need to worry about such things," he comforted her. "You've never been a trouble or a burden." Ruby glanced at him, and Isaac returned a gentle smile. "So, what was the root cause?" Isaac turned sharply to the 3 men. His demeanor changed completely. Andy, still teary from Ruby's earlier words, wiped his eyes. On the other side, a frost wolf, panting heavily and bound by iron chains, was muzzled. The men looked frightened. "We really only intended to treat it," one of them explained. Ian frowned. "Treat it? You said you were going to catch the frost wolves earlier." The man realized his slip-up and quickly corrected himself. "We just happened to encounter it and found it trapped." Ian grabbed the man's hair furiously. "Be honest. If you were treating it, why didn't you let it go? Why did you bring it here? Why did you catch the frost wolf?" The man flinched. "It seems like you have a guilty conscience." Van became even angrier. "And those things over there are all prohibited items. Where did you get them from?" He angrily lunged at the man. "Clearly bought from the black market. Did you think we'd only hit you once or twice?" On the other side, Isaac had cut the chains and was carrying the frost wolf toward Ruby. She looked on and asked, "Are we taking it outside first?" Isaac placed the frost wolf on the ground outside. All 5 of them stood observing it. Camus pointed. "Now we just need to take it there, right?" But Gaia stopped him. "Wait a minute." He crouched down and examined the panting wolf. "This one is female. Moreover, its size is different from the usual ones." Isaac offered his thoughts. "It must be an owner couple, the leading pair." At that moment, Ian burst out of the door, exhausted. "Anyway, we have to put those guys in jail." He stepped outside and saw the 5 of them standing there, dumbfounded. He frowned. "Why are you all so dazed? Is it too heavy to carry?" Andy turned to Ivan. "The thing is, this wolf seems to be the Wolf King." Isaac's expression hardened. "What? How did we mistakenly catch the Wolf King?" Ivan was equally stunned. "So, it's an owner. Damn it." In the distance, a pack of wolves was approaching them. "Everything's messed up," Ivan muttered. "If we take it in this condition, will they let us retreat safely?" At that moment, the Wolf King writhed in pain, its breathing becoming more laboured. Ruby looked up. "Can we bandage it like that?" Isaac reassured her. "Don't worry, it's not an ordinary wolf. It's the Wolf King. Just a little something, and it'll recover quickly." Ruby was still unsure. "But what is frost mushroom? The thing you threw on my face last time?" Ruby was startled, but Andy came to her rescue. "It's one of the important ingredients in the medicine to heal wounds." Ruby stammered an explanation. "At that time, I was just trying to stop Isaac." Ruby suddenly glanced behind her. The howls of frost wolves echoed from afar. She turned to look in the direction of the sound. Isaac also noticed, and slowly picked up the Wolf King. "I'll take it. Everyone, protect Ruby." Ruby remembered how scary the frost wolves were before. No matter how strong Isaac was, if the pack attacked, Isaac would be in danger. She tugged at his shirt, her voice urgent. "Will it be all right? Since it's the Wolf King, the pack will be very ferocious. What if they suddenly attack you?" "I know you're very brave, but—" Ruby couldn't help but worry. Isaac felt a flicker of joy in his heart. "Are you worried about me now?" he asked softly. Ivan laughed from behind. "Don't worry too much, madam. He's fought things even fiercer than frost wolves. On the contrary, it's the frost wolves who should be afraid." But Ruby became even more determined. "I want to go too." Isaac naturally disagreed. "No, you stay here." Ruby immediately yelled, "I don't want to. I'm worried. What if you die?" Isaac froze. "Who's going to die?" He turned to look at her, his expression unreadable. "You'd be in more danger than me." Hearing the wolf's growls, Ruby fell silent, observing the situation closely. She stepped forward and gently soothed the frost wolf. "It's okay," she whispered. "I'll take you home now. You don't have to be afraid anymore." Isaac was stunned, silently watching. Not just Isaac, but the others behind him were also wide-eyed, witnessing Ruby's calm demeanour and unique ability. Isaac, however, coldly turned away, avoiding her teary eyes. Even so, Ruby was speechless. "But you just saw my ability," she protested. She resorted to her ultimate move, hoping it would convince him. I just want to be by your side." Her eyes sparkled as she pleaded with him, and Isaac, as always, succumbed to her persistence. "You're so stubborn," Isaac muttered, at his wits' end. They ventured deeper into the forest, the growls of the frost wolves becoming more and more menacing. Ruby flinched. "It seems like it's angry," she said. "I feel like I should kneel and apologize." "It's the Wolf King." Isaac gritted his teeth, his tone heavy with worry. Ruby had turned to stone beside him. "I didn't think it would have such feelings," Isaac murmured. "If it tries anything." Ruby yelled. "Isaac," he immediately compromised. "It's okay, I'm not planning to fight it." But Ruby didn't believe him. "You're planning to provoke it first, aren't you?" Isaac gently placed the Wolf King on the ground. "Let it go. Leave it here and go." Ruby peeked out, observing the wolf. On the other side, the Wolf King showed no signs of goodwill. Its eyes were still fierce, and it approached the Wolf King lying on the ground. It nudged the wolf gently, then growled softly. The two wolves recognized each other, their eyes softening as they gazed at one another. They truly were an owner pair. Ruby let out a soft sigh of relief. "Let it go," she said quietly. She looked back at the two wolves. Isaac offered his hand for her to take, and Ruby finally reached out, accepting his hand. They walked side by side, their hearts warmed by the tender moment. The forest bathed in the golden glow of the afternoon sun. Ruby softly asked, "Can I rub your hands?" Isaac frowned. "Why?" Ruby answered honestly, "They'll probably be numb." Isaac was dumbfounded. "What do you think my profession is?" "Let's go back." Camus had prepared the horses and was waiting for them. Isaac looked around. "All right." "Where are the others?" he asked. Camus replied, "They've already taken the thieves who were caught." Isaac raised an eyebrow, even more puzzled. "Then why aren't you going with them?" "I have to go now too," Camus said, before turning to face Ruby. "Madam, Ruby, look at me." Ruby looked up in surprise. Isaac smiled softly. "What is it, madame?" "If you hadn't accompanied us, today's matter might not have been resolved so smoothly," Camus said, bowing in gratitude. "We received a lot of help from you, thank you." Ruby beamed slightly, startled. "Yes, see you next time." She clenched her hands, smiling brightly, her face flushed. "You seem happy," Isaac remarked. "It's just because I was able to help a little," Ruby said shyly. "If it weren't for you, everything would have been a nightmare by now. Those wolves would be on the verge of frenzy." "Well then," Isaac said, his voice soft under the afternoon sun. "I'll help everyone again next time." Isaac didn't object, looking at her with a soft smile, his happiness overflowing. A moment later, he casually asked, "Next time?" "What next time?" Ruby froze. "What do you mean?" Isaac smirked. "Another next time, of course, because there might be something else you need to help with." But Isaac quickly realized his slip-up. "You just want to see your little friends, right?" he said with a teasing grin. Ruby felt a pang of guilt. "That's not it." Isaac grasped her hand more tightly. "Whatever the reason, I don't want you to leave my side." Ruby awkwardly searched for an excuse. "I told you I came here just in case you were here." "You're always thinking about me," Isaac said, pausing. He stroked her face gently. "Is that so?" Isaac smiled and pinched her cheek. "So you were so eager to see me that you ended up in such a mess," Ruby tried to explain. "It was just because of the rain." She rubbed her cheek against his hand. "So you don't like it?" Isaac grinned. "How could I not like it?" He wrapped his arm around her waist, pulling her closer. "It's just, I want to bathe you like last time." "This time will be a little different," he murmured with a teasing smile. With that, Isaac placed a deep kiss on her lips, and under the golden sunlight the two exchanged passionate affections. Suddenly, Ruby staggered and pushed him away. "Wait," Isaac whispered, blushing. "What's wrong?" Behind them stood Andy, his mouth agape and his face bright red. Ruby turned, stammering, "Sir, and Demian?" He panicked and quickly left. "I'm so sorry. I'll be going now." The two left behind glanced at each other, and Ruby couldn't help but laugh. Isaac smiled and embraced her waist, then lifted her up high. To Ruby's surprise, he gently whispered, "Let's go home." Isaac reserved this gentle sweetness only for her. Ruby nodded, her face slightly flushed, replying radiantly. Under the sunset sky, the two slowly rode back to the mansion. At a church, footsteps echoed softly on the cold stone floor. It was Petro, lamenting to the heavens. "Why is everything so messed up? The plan has failed. Since when has their relationship progressed to that level? Petra should have broken her legs at that moment." Someone suddenly approached and called out to Petro, "So it was you who helped me. Informing the master will be quite alt." This surprised Petrol. "Who is this?" "We are excellent spies," the figure said, "and I told him that it wasn't good news for him because his goal has become distant. Isn't that right, Chief Jailer?" Back at the castle, inside a warm room, Isaac sat beside Ruby, watching her sleep soundly. Isaac's large hand gently caressed Ruby's rosy cheeks. Just then, Ruby suddenly woke up, startling Isaac. "Did I wake you?" he asked, concerned. Ruby quickly shook her head. "No, not at all. Are you leaving already?" Isaac nodded. "I have to leave now to be back before it gets too late." Hearing that, Ruby felt a twinge of sadness. "I see," she said softly. Isaac looked at Ruby intently and gently coaxed her. "Go back to sleep. You still look sleepy." Ruby sat up, flustered. "No, I'm awake." With that, she suddenly reached out and hugged Isaac tightly, whispering, "I just don't want to be away from you. It would be great if I could go with you." This made Isaac blush. Then, unexpectedly, he kissed Ruby's cheek. "Even if you came with me, you wouldn't be able to see your runaway friends." Hearing this, Ruby shook her head in denial. "Oh, I didn't mean that." Isaac, still suspicious, continued, "While I'm gone, your friends will definitely come looking for you, and you won't immediately run after them, right? Or you'll be lured away by someone with chocolate?" Ruby suddenly shouted, "I won't run after them." Isaac raised an eyebrow. "That's right. This afternoon I decided to have a tea party with Ellen in the water garden you made for me." Hearing this, Isaac felt reassured and agreed to let Ruby use it. "You don't need to be shy, just let me know. I still don't really know much about you." Ruby's face flushed. "Yes, I will." Come to think of it, Ruby knew quite a bit about Isaac, but most of it was from the novel. She couldn't truly say she understood him from the time they'd spent together. Suddenly, Isaac reached out and hugged Ruby tightly, whining, "I don't want to leave you at all." Ruby smiled softly. "Then you have to go quickly and come back to me." "I'll be back as soon as possible. Wait for me," Isaac said, his voice full of affection. Ruby said cheerfully, "Yes, have a safe trip." This was the first time she'd been able to enjoy such peaceful days in her life. Ruby was afraid of whether she should enjoy this moment of happiness. Every time she thought about it, she wished she could permanently stop this present happiness, even if it was all a dream that would disappear when she fell asleep. Meanwhile, Rona, the maid, had found a beautiful piece of jewellery. "This jewellery will be perfect for today's party," she said. However, Lucille objected. "No, just looking at it, this suits Madam better." "Why are you so stubborn?" Rona justified. "I'm just talking about jewellery that suits Madam." Just then, a voice called out, "Madam, the Duke is looking for you." Ruby was surprised and told the servant, "Let him in." As soon as he entered, Omar asked, "Madam, are you going somewhere?" Ruby cautiously replied, "Yes, I'm having a tea party with Ellen." Hearing this, nodded in satisfaction. "It's fortunate that Ellen has done a good job of taking care of Madam." Afterward, Ruby asked, "Are you going somewhere too, Father Duke?" Replied, "I have a meeting at the palace, so I stopped by." "I see," Ruby wondered to herself. "Does he have something to tell me?" Went straight to the point. I heard my son gave you the key to the vault. Ruby was taken aback. Is he here to ask for it back? With his stance, she couldn't believe it. Continued to probe. What did that brat say when he gave you the key? Ruby nervously laughed. Well, he entrusted it to me and told me to keep it safe. But the truth was, Isaac had given it to her to use as she pleased. Pondered for a moment before speaking again. If Madam wants anything, feel free to take it. Suddenly, noticed the bracelet on Ruby's wrist. He was relieved. It's fortunate that the bracelet is with you. I was worried because of his tendency to do things his own way. It's good that he didn't use it for something frivolous. It's a family heirloom, after all. Ruby was surprised. A family heirloom? Isaac had said the bracelet brought peace. Shook his head. It was made by our ancestor from a dragon's heart. Ruby's eyes widened in astonishment. A dragon's heart? Then her heart skipped a beat. Oh my God. Ruby was startled. The bracelet is made from a dragon's heart? Including these sparkling jewels? They're all from a dragon's heart, and it's a family heirloom? Could it be that at the banquet that day, was it because of this that you were dissatisfied? Just as she thought this, Duke apologized to Ruby. I heard this was a banquet for Madam, so I took the time to come here. My son was ridiculous. I apologize on his behalf. Ruby hastily bowed her head. It's okay, you don't have to worry about it. Compared to that, it's better if I return this bracelet, Ruby said. Stopped her. That belongs to you now. You are the mistress of this mansion. The Duke specifically asked Ruby how she felt living here, as it was originally a barren and dull place. However, Ruby smiled and said, on the contrary, it's even more interesting than Romania. Had thought Ruby would miss her homeland. Madam always surprises people. Suddenly, realized something. Madam is the Pope's daughter. I thought you would visit the temple frequently. Ruby hesitated, then replied, to be honest, just listening to you makes me sleepy. Pondered. Not really. It's just that, regarding the Pope, what if he thinks we're intentionally confining Madam? Ruby waved her hand. That's not the case. My father definitely knows I like it here. Was very surprised to hear that. This place is that good, or is it because my son is good? This made Ruby hesitate. Then she quickly switched to fangirl mode. I fell in love with him at first sight. It's destiny, you know. Ruby laughed. You know it too well, father. However, was a little suspicious. Are you being sincere? This made Ruby a little flustered. Continued. Of course, I don't doubt your sincerity, but your answer is very similar to someone else's, so I still can't erase my doubts. Anyway, I was just asking. Feeling a tremor, Ruby firmly replied, I'm being sincere. Finally let go of his suspicion and sighed. The older I get, the more I have to think about. Just pretend I didn't say anything. With that, walked away coldly, leaving Ruby alone in the room. The tea party had begun. Princess Aaron was very excited. Today I'm the princess. Someone laughed and joked. Actually, being a princess or a prince is both good. She suddenly wondered. Does Madame often come here to play? The children had built a secret base here, and they occasionally brought Ruby there to play. It was as luxurious a garden as rumoured. The other guests also chattered excitedly. I heard the Duke gave this place to Madame. How romantic. Ruby couldn't help but feel embarrassed. Does it look like I'm bragging too much? But Ellen had also told her to be proud. Is it too much? All right, a little pride, so what? It's perfect for a little princess, Ellen teased. Ruby laughed, feeling a little better. Just looking at it makes me envious. At that moment, Freya suddenly put down her teacup and said, They say if a person suddenly changes, they will die. Is Isaac still healthy? If he is, that can't happen. Ruby felt uncomfortable inside. There's a saying, chopsticks come in pairs. Where there's Ellen, there's Freya. The nausea that had subsided lately came back, and Ruby still felt an aversion to the food Ellen had prepared. She had made too many desserts, hadn't she? Even more surprising was that Ivan had arrived. "Good afternoon, ladies. Have you been having a good time?" "Oh my, Sir Ivan, please join us," little Princess Leia excitedly asked. "Brother, what are you doing here?" "I've been teased. Leia, have you been bothering people here lately?" "I'm not here to pick you up," he said. Princess Leia sulked a little. "What? No, that's not it. I've decided to play with the princess. You go home first." Ellen, seeing their sibling affection, praised them. "You two are always so close." Ian laughed. "That's not true. But if the princess consort thinks so, then let it be." Aaron suddenly said, "Leia, I think I should go home too." Leia was surprised. "What? Why?" "It's getting late. He earns here to pick you up too." But Leia was dejected. "We haven't done anything yet." Ian interjected. "The princess said she has to go back too. You should go home too, little sister." Aaron quickly said goodbye to Madame Ruby. At that moment, Ellen suddenly stood up. "Stay seated, Ruby. I'll take the princess there." In an instant, the other guests followed Ivan, leaving Ruby alone at the tea table. Honestly, Sir Ivan is very popular. Suddenly, Ruby remembered when the children came back. It seemed like they dropped something. Finally, Ruby found it. "I'll have to return this next time." Freya suddenly appeared beside Ruby and praised it. "How cute! I used to play with dolls a lot when I was little, but I didn't have such dazzling jewelry." Ruby was even more surprised that Freya was still there. She turned away again and complimented the garden. "This garden is wonderful. Did Isaac really design it himself?" Freya turned back to look at Ruby. "So, madam, you must be very satisfied with this place. Like I said, I'm asking if you're satisfied now." Ruby was stunned by her question. "Why are you suddenly asking this?" A fear arose in Ruby's heart. What is she going to say now? Freya sneered. "I'm just asking because I see that Madam is very loved by Isaac. In my experience, people like Madam, as long as their safety is guaranteed, are sure to be satisfied with their lives. Madam is no exception." Ruby became even more bewildered. "What are you trying to say?" Freya seemed to be calculating something. "Even if you leave this place and marry someone else, if you're lucky, wouldn't it be the same as now?" Ruby laughed awkwardly. "Miss, you're being a bit too careful with your words. I won't leave Isaac." Freya was taken aback but sneered mockingly. "Madam, do you really not understand, or are you pretending not to understand?" At this point, Ruby couldn't understand what was happening. She gently told Freya, "Could you get straight to the point so I can understand, instead of beating around the bush like this?" Hearing this, Freya said, "Madame, Isaac is His Majesty's beloved nephew, inheriting the noble blood of the Britannian royal family. Compared to a princess with mixed blood from a heretical cult, you understand what I mean?" This implied that Isaac was very likely to be the successor, the future ruler of the empire. "I've spoken this much, so you must understand, right?" Freya continued. "If Isaac becomes the next successor, the future prosperity of the North will depend in part on his partner. Will they be willing to let a heretic interfere in their country, or be grateful to someone they don't even want to look at?" Freya's point was clear. What do those holy sons from the rotten south know about this land? Just with Madame's intervention, those strange beasts reappear. Do you think this place is just a playground? After finishing speaking, she glanced at Ruby smugly. "Are my words that difficult to understand?" "I don't expect Madame to understand too much," Freya continued. "I'm just afraid that Madame, being so gentle, will be hurt and resentful of her fate later on. I just wanted to warn you in advance. First love is a very scary thing. Moreover, Madame is in love and can't control it. But you're just a pretty doll that can dance for a man like Isaac. If he meets Madame and loses his mind just because of first love, it would be a real pity. This is just a brief encounter." However, even Ruby knew that people could change at any time. Ruby had experienced it firsthand, so how could she not know that? But why should Freya care about it? At this moment, Ruby spoke up. Come to think of it, miss, it seems you know a lot about my husband. Hearing this, Freya quickly asked, Does Madam find it unpleasant? Ruby burst out laughing in denial. No such thing. I just thought it was quite miraculous. Does Maddie have some sort of resentment toward me? But Isaac has never mentioned Maddie in front of me. Freya looked a little embarrassed, then burst into laughter. It must be because he's afraid Madam will see me as his mistress, so he cares for me in his own way. Madam, please, don't misunderstand. I also don't care about such childish emotional games. Isaac is the same. Isaac and I have had a lot in common since we were young, one of which is our love for the north. Right now, as the spring breeze blows by, but Isaac would never give his heart to a fleeting breeze, would he? Eventually, he'll realize who he should choose for the glory of the north and those who are important. Hearing Freya's words, Ruby thought to herself, her words are like, you can't be by Isaac's side. I'm the one who deserves to be Isaac's empress, the one who will become emperor, not you. Isn't that what she means? Why does she have to beat around the bush like that, trying to hide her feelings and appear very authoritative at the same time? After that, Ruby approached and called, Lady Freya, what you've been saying doesn't seem to make sense. Maidie said that as long as I feel safe and comfortable, or that I still feel satisfied even when I'm not by Isaac's side, but why should I be hurt by Isaac? Do you mean that I see you as his mistress? I wonder if Maidie feels uneasy about missing Isaac for the rest of her life. After saying that, Ruby sneered. Seeing that, Freya clicked her tongue. Is Madam pretending to be innocently clueless about something? Actually, there's a reason for Madam to be so tense lately. Isaac hasn't been clinging to just you. Ellen already said it. So why does Madam keep pretending not to see? I was quite surprised. I hate stupid people with brains for show. Ellen is no less than me. By the way, I'll let Madam know this too. Trusting someone too much will one day turn back into a knife before you know it. The coffee in Freya's hands suddenly spilled. Ruby was extremely bewildered. Freya had splashed water on herself, making Ruby extremely panicked. At that moment, Ivan returned, having found Leah's hairpin. When they entered, they were astonished to see Freya drenched. Both Ellen and the other guests curiously asked, Freya, what happened? Are you all right? Why are you like this? At this moment, Freya hesitated. I'm fine. It's just, it seems Madam has misunderstood my meaning. Everyone was stunned. Ellen couldn't help but wonder, what do you mean, Freya? Please explain this situation clearly. Ruby was taken aback. Did the Duchess really do this to Maidie? How could this be? Even Ruby didn't expect things to turn out like this. The victim was Freya, and Ruby was suddenly painted as a wicked woman, jealous and harassing her husband's friend. Ellen tried to probe Ruby with a pleading look. Please, answer me. But at this moment, Ruby just glanced dejectedly at Ellen, whose eyes were brimming with tears. Leah innocently asked Ivan, Did everyone fight because of my hairpin? Ivan shook his head. No, it's not that. Then Ivan spoke up. Madam couldn't have done this without a reason. I hope you can tell me the reason. Ruby was in shock as all eyes turned to her as if she were the culprit. Ellen still couldn't believe it. Ruby, say something. Freya pretended to be heartbroken. It seems Madam was very surprised. I don't want things to get any more chaotic. Just then, Ruby sobbed aloud. I didn't do it. I didn't do anything. Like everything that has happened so far, and this time too. The other guests exclaimed in panic. No, do you mean Lady Freya staged this? I can't believe it. Freya took the opportunity and started sobbing as well. Madam was very angry because of my mistake. It's only natural that I received this punishment. Ellen looked over and saw Freya trembling, becoming extremely worried. She then helped Freya inside to change her clothes. Ellen turned back and glanced at Ruby. Let's end the party here today. This must have been what Freya wanted to convey to Ruby. No matter how hard she tried with the people here, she would ultimately just be a stranger to them. Eventually they would turn their backs and abandon her. Ruby walked away absent-mindedly, pondering everything. Will I be abandoned like this too? Ruby couldn't help but blame herself. It's time to get used to it. I'm such a fool. At that moment, Rona noticed Ruby and called out, "Madam, did you enjoy the tea party? Dinner has been prepared." After saying that, Rona suddenly froze, her expression worried as she turned to Ruby. "What's wrong?" Although Ruby denied it, Rona still felt that something had happened. "You look so sad." At that moment, Ruby felt extremely wronged. She suddenly hugged Rona and burst into tears like a child, making Rona burst into tears as well. "Madame!" The two of them embraced each other, crying. Meanwhile, the monster ghosts screamed in agony because Isaac had destroyed them. Each time he finished killing, he coldly walked away. And at this moment, Isaac remembered Ruby and her words. "I want to live with you all my life, in a place with our friends."